Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Can you guys believe that it's already October 1st? It's crazy, right? It's the year has really flown by, and I feel like the October 1st for me marks the countdown to the end of the year. So I wanted to come online today and help people get ready for this. So I'm going to leave just a couple of minutes to see if more people will get notified about the live. But I hope everybody is well, both on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Hi, honey, Justin. Hi, Denise. Hi, Juana. Are you all ready for the end of 2022? Huh? So technically we have 90 days, right? 3 months. And to some people, they may think, well, that sounds like a lot. But the truth is we get a lot of that time eaten up by the holidays, right? So realistically, you've got, we're going to miss at least 1 week in November, potentially 2 weeks in November while people are traveling. We're also going to lose 2 to 2.5 weeks in December. And then January, the same thing happens. So it's definitely a big problem for us to, to misunderstand the actual work time. And the other thing you have to remember, not only is the time shorter, but also people's thoughts tend to start drifting towards the holidays. So the closer we get to December 1st, it's almost impossible to get people to be fully mindful about what you're trying to sell them or what you're trying to engage them with, because half of us have busy plans, right? We have family coming from out of town for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or whatever you celebrate in your family. And we may be making travel plans to go somewhere else. We've got a list of gifts we have to buy. Some people are more organized than others. They get started early on their Black Friday shopping and Christmas shopping online. But the truth is, all of us are only half there in Q4 because of all that distraction, right? And it's a nice kind of distraction, don't get me wrong, but it can take away from your productivity, and it can also really just maybe give you the misrepresentation of what your priority should be, right? I mean, because let's get real, we want to wrap up the year strong, don't we? And, I'm starting my academy next week. Hooray for the people who are in the academy. And we're not going to mess around. We're going to make sure that we finish 2022 strong. All right. So I truly think that this is something that people aren't talking about enough. And I think that you need to have somebody say, hey, let's devise a plan. Because without a plan, oh, the internet. Okay. Go over to YouTube. So I'm going to put this in the chat. Said the internet is terrible. Hold on. No video. Oh my God. Hold on. So if you guys can hear me, go to kristamolione.com /YT for YouTube. Because I see a bunch of people are on LinkedIn, and I've been having a terrible time streaming to LinkedIn lately, and I don't know why. It's not the first time either. I've even turned off one thing I can do. Hold on. So I don't know if this helps, but I just switched off my camera and I went to my crappy camera. I don't know if that helps. Let me know in the comments, anyone who can, if you can see me. That is weird. Very weird. I'm just waiting. Yeah, Justin says I should stop going live on LinkedIn. I don't know. I have to get some more support why it's not been this way until recently. It's been harder. Kristen says she's been going live on LinkedIn all week and it was fine. So actually, that's really weird because I've been doing lives twice a week for a long time, and I haven't had too many problems, although my video can be grainy because I'm in France and I don't have good internet in the mountains. But I'm just waiting to make sure people can still at least hear me. If you guys can hear me, I'm happy. You have to refresh the codes on LinkedIn. I don't know how to do that, but probably what you mean is disconnect from LinkedIn and then re-add it. Maybe that's the problem. I'm gonna have to get some of my live streamers. Where's DJ when I need her, right? Or Russ Johns. He's at his conference this week, I think. But I have Gabe. I have like lots of friends who are live streamers, so I have to ask somebody what could be, or ask StreamYard. But luckily it's working on YouTube, so it's bizarre why LinkedIn is not liking my live. But let me resume where I started lagging, and hopefully you guys can hear this. The reason I'm doing this live today is because I want everybody to get ready for Q4, and I'm very strong opinionated about this. I think that we have to make extra effort. It's one of the most difficult times of the year because of the holidays. And if you guys see behind me, I've got my 12-month plan for 2023 already done. So I'm a year ahead, and my year always starts in September. So the way I plan my year is from fall to fall. I don't start my new year in January because I'm a business owner. And I really strongly feel like January is like another short month. So nothing really gets rolling until January 10th. So you already have lost 10 days out of, 20 some good work days of January, with people coming back to work. And as everyone knows, before and after a holiday, there's kind of like this brain fog, because before a holiday, people are excited, but they're also like kind of distracted thinking about preparation for their holidays. And then when they get back, there's this post-holiday fatigue. And I do feel like January, we lose a lot of time because of that, because people are just kind of settling back into work, and it's not just like immediate. And so that's why, we have to spend a lot more attention now on Q4. And that's also why I start the year in Q4. So for me, September to September is the best way to plan if you're a business owner. And if you're interested in learning my systems, I'm doing a workshop. So hopefully you guys can hear this. And, I really want to help people. And if I do these kind of workshops, the reason is because in my business coaching, I regularly see people who don't have systems. And I truly feel like that is the biggest reason for there's three big reasons for failure, and time management / systems / organization is one of them. And so when you have three things that could go wrong, you should fix those three things. So that one is time management. So knowing how to set a schedule and knowing what you should be doing when. And remember, if you run a business, it's even worse, because at least when you're an employee, there's someone else who's completely babysitting you, like completely. They tell you when you have to be there, when you leave. They tell you what the deadlines are. They check in on you constantly to make sure you're doing your job. There's pressure. But when you're a business owner, you don't have any of that. And so it's easy to get lost in the weeds. And I see this all the time with business owners. So that's why for me, this is super important that I'm going to do this workshop. And hopefully some of you guys can come because it's going to be pretty cool. And I'd love to see some of you there. I'm going to give you the information right now. Let me see. I have a page for this, but I can't seem to find it. Hold on. And I'd love to hear any questions. So one of the reasons I'm going to do a workshop too is because I want to show people my organization system, and I do want to help people. So I want to see if there's any questions that I can answer. And everyone has their different way of organizing. And I don't think that there is a one size fits all, but I have a lot of tricks. So some of the things that are really important when you want to organize yourself is really setting SMART goals. Now, every single one of you has heard of SMART goals. This is a term that everyone's using, but I truly feel like very few are actually doing it. And the reason I think that's happening is because we don't have the accountability. We don't maybe understand the priorities. That's another one. Also, we don't have the support. So that's one of the reasons why, I have this academy that's kicking off next week, because I have this thing called the A Club so that we can support one another. It's a mastermind. And I see that all the time, that people fail because they just don't have that support. And all of us go through ruts, because one thing is you can't really control your mood. So, one day everything's going fine. You're feeling super productive. You're super energetic. And then you go into a slump. And there's nothing that really you can control that from. Let me see if maybe my Wi-Fi would be better. Hold on. All right, I switched over my internet to see if this might be better. I just want to check if that might be an issue too, because I have one router, but I have different Wi-Fi signals that I can connect to. So I'm putting on the screen the registration. If anyone wants to come to my workshop, it's called Finish Strong, where I'm going to be teaching my systems. And that's happening on October 11th, if you're interested. So you've got a little bit of time to think about it. But speaking of time, of course, planning your year or planning your quarter, procrastination is a big one. This is a big mistake I see people making. Another one is this busy syndrome, where people are just constantly busy, but they're not actually focused on the right priorities, and they're not achieving much. And that's why I mentioned the SMART goals, because even though people know how to set SMART goals, or they know they should set SMART goals, then I still see those people stuck in this like busy task. And it's like watching a bunch of squirrels, digging for nuts or something. It's like, why are you doing that task? That's not your top priority. So you know what your top priority should be as a business owner all year round, 12 months of the year? It should be finding clients, building relationships, selling. And think of all the places where you can do that, those activities. And those activities, by the way, are all connected, right? Building relationships, selling yourself, showing up, getting more visibility. It's all sales activities. And I constantly see business owners who aren't spending time on their sales activities. And when I ask them, so in your weekly schedule, when do you plan your sales activities? There's like radio silence. And the answer is that people don't. So they think that they're just posting or they're producing a course that obviously they're not getting paid during that time, right? So no one's paying you to post content. No one's paying you to develop your course. And the truth is, you have to be out there selling yourself as well, right? So it's super important for you to understand that your SMART goals may not be what you think they are. You may not be really following through on the stuff you should be following through on. And then I hear people come to me and say, I don't understand why the clients aren't coming or something. And I'm like, the clients aren't coming? Well, that's easy. When are you spending time on your sales activities? And like I said, radio silence, people are like, eh. So you have to identify what is socializing and what is selling as well. A lot of people stay in their comfort zone and they spend too much time with people who support them but are not their ideal client and won't buy from them. And it makes them feel somehow busy. And that's not the priority, is it? The priority is to step outside your comfort zone to find those people who should be your clients. And those are the people you need to spend more time with. And you need to really plan this. It needs to be in your schedule so we know when you're doing it. Because if you're not, then there's no wonder if you end up at the end of the year with less money. Now it's even more urgent to do this as well because we're entering this economy. There's been layoffs. There's talks of a recession. Of course, I feel the news always exaggerates things more negatively than they probably are. But at the same time, I've seen some layoffs and I have seen people cutting budgets. So I would say this Q4 to be extra careful, extra vigilant of your schedule and your priorities and your SMART goal setting and your planning. And if you need help with that, come to my workshop on October 11th. Another thing that I want you guys to think about is saying no to the wrong things. Now, I'm a person who is very curious by nature. So if I'm not careful, I can open 100 tabs on my computer because I'm just so curious. I want to watch all these videos. I want to subscribe to different things. I just get really kind of obsessed with many things. I'm very passionate. And this is very dangerous because what happens is this can actually mess up your priorities. And so then you're wondering, well, I don't think I'm getting enough things done. And the truth is it's because you're trying to do too many things and they're kind of messing with your head. So now you're thinking, oh, but I just want to just look at this for 1 minute. And then you get distracted by something else. That's really important. So that's why I teach my students time blocking. And we have to tie those back into your goals. So everything has to align with your goals. It's not saying that you can't watch videos or you can't have free time to do whatever you want. The problem is you can't do it at the expense of missing your goals. So just like if you were employed full time as an entrepreneur, you just need to be more disciplined and more self-aware and say, "Oh crap, I'm already drifting. I better not even open Facebook or else I'm a goner." Or you all know your weaknesses where you feel really distracted. And that's why you have to really say no to a lot of things. And it's not no forever. It's no until I've met my goals. Or you plan in a short break and you stick to it with self-discipline. Like me, I love to say, I'm going to watch this Netflix movie, but I'm only watching one and I'm only watching it when I'm finished with something else. And then it becomes almost a reward, right? And yes, you'll have to be more self-disciplined. You'll have to say, no, I've set a deadline. I have to finish this. You set your own deadlines when you're an entrepreneur. And that's something that I think many people struggle with that I'm going to talk about in my training. Then trying to be superhero. This is another massive problem I see a lot of people doing. And I don't know why. What's the benefit of doing that? It's not really clear to me. But many people do it. I think it's a question of feeling valued and needed, and maybe even some people pleasing or perfectionism, but definitely it's not helping you. If you try to do too much, you will just end up burnt out because your energy needs to be replenished. So you need to get great sleep. You need to have some time for yourself. You can't be running from one activity to a next. And especially if you have a busy family life, this is going to be even more important to create boundaries between your home life and your work life. And what happens if you're working from home? It can be really blurred. So that's a very dangerous line to walk because you can end up burning out, right? From just trying to do too much for everybody. And that's one of the reasons you'll see behind me, I have this calendar, because then I can take a look at my calendar and I can decide when are my down times, when are my busy times. And that will help me plan in some activities. So like, for example, if someone invites me to volunteer for something and it happens to fall in the period where I'm really busy with work, I would decline. But then I would look, oh no, that month I'm actually okay. That's kind of a downtime for me. I'm not planning any launches that month. So yes, I'd love to. And so those are the kind of decisions you can make more easily when you plan, right? Because ultimately, if you burn out, you're not good for anything. It's a lose-lose situation. People mistakenly think that they have to work longer hours to be more successful, but I want to argue that it's more about your organization. You don't have to work longer hours. On the contrary, I think you need to get away from your computer more because your best creative ideas will come to you when you're outside in the nature, when you're in your car, when you're doing different activities that are not in front of your computer. So I truly believe that most people aren't maximizing their productivity. And that leads to all kinds of problems. But most importantly, it leads to less money making and more stress and feeling, oh, this business is killing me. I'm like, well, because you're not doing the right things. Change what you're doing and the business will give back to you. One of the things I'm going to give people who come to my event is a productivity planner to help them have a checklist in front of them of things they can do to stay on task. Because I do think that when we do have brain fog or our energy isn't very high, we need more discipline, but we also need a plan. And we need to know, okay, I just need to show up and do this. And thinking takes up a lot of energy. So if you plan your tasks in batch like I do, then you just look and you say, oh, on that day, this is what I have. You don't have to think. You don't have to be like, oh, when should I do this? And then you did that once and then it's done. So that's why I like to plan out my time in advance. And it also helps me because all of my planning ties back into my income. So I know which months I'm going to launch. Then I can already set income goals for my launches. And I can check across the year. Like if I didn't hit my goal on the beginning of the year in Q1, then I can ramp up on my marketing for Q2, for example. So everything is connected, right? And what you do now in Q4 is going to determine how you start your year next year. So everything goes with a little bit of a delay, a lag. So if you work really productively now in Q4, you're going to have a great Q1. But if you kind of just let things go and let things drag on, trust me, time will never stop for you. Time is going to keep going. And at the end, you're going to be kind of sad because you're going to say, wow, I don't understand what happened, why I'm not further along. Maybe you'll compare yourself to someone else who just announced some big win, and you're like, wow, he or she is so lucky. And I'm like, no, they're not lucky. They just worked smarter. It wasn't about working harder, it was smarter. And that's what I want for you in Q4. So if you want to finish the year out strong, make a plan, set your SMART goals, and then align them with your schedule. So don't just put something up there, oh, I want to have $100,000 in Q4, and then you just be a busybody day by day. No, everything you do during your day, during your week, during each of those 3 months needs to be aligned with that 100K goal. And it needs to be measurable. And also, you need to be checking in where you're at and making adjustments and figuring out, okay, what do I need to be doing right now? And like I said earlier, I think all people are guilty of not spending enough effort and time on selling. And the reason is simple. Most people prefer to be busybodies than to sell. Selling is a skill. And the truth is, if you're a small business owner, you can't outsource sales because you are the one who they want to see. No one wants to see your VA. No one wants to see some outreach specialist or a cold caller person. Everyone is like, no, I just want to talk to you. I want to see if I like you. So you're going to have to learn to sell yourself. And so if anything, don't avoid it. Get help. I have a course for this. I have a selling course. I have a lead nurture course. You can find all about that on my website, academy.kristamaleone.com. And I hope that you guys will really take this seriously because it's just so, right now, kind of a difficult time for a lot of people. And so I think that if you plan things now, you'll definitely be better off than other people who go into 2023. We don't know what will happen with the economy, if things could get worse, and you'll be better off. You'll have more planned out. You'll be a step ahead than others who just let the end of the year this is not a time to surf. And I think a lot of people do that in Q4. I think people just surf. They're like, okay, year's almost over. I don't really going to make any more efforts. When actually you could do the opposite. You could say, year's almost over. Let me make Q4 the best quarter of the year. Let me surpass all my expectations. And in order to do that, before we even do the organization part like that, you have to believe it. You have to be hungry. You have to be determined. And you have to have this go-getter attitude. Take no prisoners. Like, I am going to nail my goals. I'm going to set ambitious goals and I'm going to nail them. That's what I want to hear from people. That's what we're going to be doing in the A Club, in the Academy cohort that starts next week. And so I wish you guys a wonderful Q4. Yes, it's right around the corner. And I hope that you're ready for it. If you do need help, come to my workshop, Finish Strong. If you can't see it because the video is bad, then please reach out to me. You can reach out to me on all channels. I'm at kristamaleone. And if you would so kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be great too. I try to post every single week videos for entrepreneurs and always thinking about how I can help people get further ahead with achieving financial and time freedom. That's ultimately my goal for all of you. And also, there are still 92 hours left to sign up if you're interested in coming into the Academy. I mean, the Academy is ridiculously affordable. We're gonna nail Q4. We've got a Q4 sales challenge, hint, coming. We're going to be doing our accountability calls, our challenges, our hot seats, our demo days, and tons of great stuff, because I really want everyone to finish the year strong and make as much money as possible. So that's it, guys. That's all I got for you today. If you want me to go into detail, then come to my workshop or consider enrolling in the academy and let's do it together, right? Or maybe both. So your choice, your business, and your life, right? Thanks for coming tonight, and I will see you guys next week, same place, same time. I've got more cool stuff coming. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, on the homepage of my YouTube channel, you will see all my upcoming lives that I do. I have both solo episodes like this, as well as weekly interviews with entrepreneurs who are offering amazing advice as well. So you can discover some cool people and get some great free advice. Everything's free, YouTube. So kristamilleon.com/YT for YouTube. And you can go there. Talk to you guys later and see you in Q4. I'm going to see who's going to crush it, huh? Okay. Take care, everyone.